hear me on my microphone? I'm just wondering. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I had little problems with the world today, so I had to literally reinstall the world. So I just want to make sure we're good. I'm actually super excited. I've been on a panel with each of you guys over the past 3 weeks, I guess. So it's going to be kind of cool to be on the other side of this. So I'll go ahead by introducing myself. I'm Vanessa Nunez, and I am in Austin, Texas. I live outside, actually, technically in Liberty Hill in the Hill Country, but Austin is my main board, but I work all over. I have just achieved my 6th time ICON agent, so I'm super excited about this. And I can't wait to introduce you to David, Marla, and Marty. So they all have some great stuff. So I have some great questions here, but I want to start off with each of them introducing themselves, stating how many times that they have ICON. I'm pulling up my questions, their production, and their location besides their name. So my production actually last year was 27 million. So I'll let them start kicking off. David, do you want to hop on first?
Sure, yeah, I'll do it first. What's up, guys? My name is David Brook, and I run the Brook team at eXp Realty. I have joined eXp in 2020, and this will be my 3rd time being an ICON agent. We joined doing around $72 million in real estate sales, and last year we just were shy of $200 million in sales, and do residential, commercial, and a little bit of everything else. So thanks for having me. I'm pumped.
Awesome. David, you're a team, correct? You're not individual.
That's correct. Yeah, we're on a team.
Okay, perfect. How about you, Marla?
Hi, thanks, Vanessa. I'm Marla Johnson. I've been with eXp here in Saskatchewan, Saskatoon area, Canada, for just about 2.5 years. So I've ICONed twice, and I'm just about to ICON here for my 3rd time. I sell mostly residential. I do a lot of new construction, and I sell about 80 to 100 homes a year on my own.
That's awesome. I'm so excited to hear more of y'all's stuff. Okay, Marty, how about you?
Hey there, this is Marty Burnett. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. I have been in real estate for 18, going on 19 years. I've been with eXp. This is our 3rd year with eXp. We're in our 3rd year. This is our third ICON. I do have a team. I've had all different kinds of teams. I've had big teams, small teams. Right now, we've got what I would consider a fairly small team, and from there, we're gonna. I think we're going to grow ours a little bit right now. We consistently do about 20 million a year. This year, we've blown way past that. We're probably going to hit 30 to 40 million this year, depending. My husband does I work with my husband. We work together, and he does a lot of commercial stuff too. And sometimes that hits big, sometimes it doesn't. So that's just kind of boosted our numbers this year quite honestly. Our price points are way up, and Nashville is just going crazy. So we're having an awesome year, and we see that continuing. So I hope to gain some really good stuff from you guys on this panel, and also be able to share and maybe help somebody as well.
Awesome. So you guys are in for a great surprise, because you have 2 people who are individual agents, as well as 2 that have teams, one a husband and wife, and one that actually has built out the team. So you've got way experience with different sort of.
My sound just went out.
I think she's actually the one that doesn't have sound anymore.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Okay. You guys hear me?
Now we can.
Okay, that's weird. I don't know what's going on. They're working on all sorts of internet stuff here in my location because we're expanding so much. So it could be just that. So the questions I put together, there's kind of a madness, reason for the madness. So I'm going to start off. Do you feel lucky in life, business, and relationships? David, do you want to kick off?
Yeah, sure. So do I feel lucky in life, business, and relationships?
Yeah. Do you feel lucky, like in your business relationship, your life relationship, life in general? Do you feel lucky?
Yeah, I'd probably use the Irish proverb then to say, lucky is believing that you're lucky. So, yeah, I think that everything happens for a purpose and a reason. And I don't think that everything has worked out as I thought it would work out, but I've always looked back and been like, hey, it's better now than it was. So I would say that I'm absolutely blessed for how things have turned out.
That's awesome. And you'll understand why I asked this question in the end. Marla, what about you?
Yeah,
do you feel lucky?
Yeah, I definitely, Vanessa, do lucky in so many ways. Family, business, my own personal life. I've overcome a lot of different things in my life, so I'm lucky to be where I am today. I don't really contribute it to luck, though. I think there's a lot of hard work that also goes in. I know a lot of times people will say, oh, you're so lucky you got this, or you're so lucky you got that. So I do feel it is a lot of the different things and all the work that I've done on myself that gets me to the place that I am today. I don't just attribute it to luck of the draw. It is a lot of time, self-development, people I surround myself with, and how I go about my daily activities that I hope contribute to that.
Marla, you might want to put your sound up because I don't know if you're on, you're going in and out a little bit. It's kind of foggy, so I don't know if you want to move your microphone closer.
Okay, is that a little bit better?
Yeah, that's a little bit better. It's just echoey too.
Sorry, I'm not sure why.
Okay, I think that was a little bit better. Well, I'm glad that you also think that you're lucky, and I'll get to the end of this. So, Marty, what about you?
Well, honestly, I don't believe in luck. I believe that I'm extremely blessed. I'm blessed in life. I'm blessed in love. I'm blessed in relationships. But I kind of go with Marla on this. Hard work plays into it, but also, I'm a very faithful person, and I think that, whatever your belief is, praying about decisions and ending up, going through things. I think you end up where you're supposed to be. I'm pretty hard-headed and kind of get headstrong in certain directions. So I have to hit a wall a couple times before I have to turn around and go back the other direction. I'm just a firm believer in I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there. And if I'm on the wrong path, then, the Lord's going to shift me in the right way. So don't necessarily believe in luck. I do believe I'm extremely blessed. I do believe that each one of us have talents and traits that we're given to use to work hard and move in a direction to change others, touch others, and be where we're supposed to be. And so that's kind of what I focus on. I just focus on using the gifts that I've been given to serve others and help others achieve goals. And in turn, I get to achieve as well. So that's kind of my take on that.
Very cool. So to explain why I asked that question is I actually am a big self-development and read books. And there was a book that I was listening to this week, and it talked about those in business and in life that feel, quote unquote, that they're lucky, meaning they're blessed, they're great, they're grateful, whatever, actually are more successful than those who believe they're not. So it's really about mindset. So I think even if we all don't say, quote unquote, that it's luck, that it is, that having that belief system in our talents and so forth is what helps us be successful. So I know that it's a question that it seems counterintuitive to feel if you're lucky, because I pondered it a lot. So it caused me to say, you know what, I think this would be a great question for you guys. So within that, this is a question. I give away a scholarship every year, and I give scholarship away to a deserving high school senior. This is a question that has now become the number one question that we ask each senior. So in that, it's become a question that I ask everyone. If you had one word to describe yourself, what would that word be, and why would you choose that? Let's start off with Marty this time.
Oh, wow. One word. Okay. It would probably be, I should have had this ahead of time, and I had a word in mind, but I'm going to go with probably just, I don't know what that sound is every time I talk. Like, there's a weird sound in the background.
I don't know. I think there's something wrong may have been with the world. Like I said, I had to redo the whole world. You sound fine to me, but I don't know.
Okay, maybe it's just feedback on my end. That's fine. So one word that would describe me, I would say just unique, probably. And the reason I say that is because my husband laughs all the time and says that they broke the mold after they made me. That one of me in this world was money. And my brain just, I feel like a lot of times works very, very differently from other people's. And people laugh and be like, where did that come from? I'm like, look, you do not want to live up here in my head. So I would probably say that I'm extremely unique and different.
That's awesome. What about you, Marla?
I definitely know my word. It's gratitude. I'm a huge person that believes in being grateful for the day, for the moment, the experiences you have, the people you meet, to show gratitude, to feel gratitude. I think that kind of emanates in all parts of my family life, my beliefs, my Christian beliefs, and also in how I react with clients, people's friends, and family. It definitely is gratitude.
That's awesome. David, what about your word, and why would you choose it?
Yeah, I'd say perseverance for me. I think for my life, like since I was like a little kid, I've had like either medical issues or just challenges in family life or whatever it is. And like through it all, it's just like always pushing forward and always seeing that light and like going towards that no matter what, like being relentless about just moving forward.
That's awesome. Mine has always been to inspire. So every day I know that's been my purpose is I wake up to inspire someone else to be better than they were yesterday by starting off with myself. So I hope that you guys are getting some good notes of why these people are up on stage and how this actually does have to do with their business. So with that said, how do you think both of these answers helps you in your business? You want to start off, David?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so for us, like I would say, like I faced so many challenges, like growing the business. Like in the beginning, it was extremely challenging just getting started as a real estate team. Even as starting as an individual agent, I was, I remember the first 9 listings I got, I think I expired like 6 of them. And the reason was because I just didn't know what I was doing and I didn't have guidance and mentorship like we have here at EXP. And so, but it was that perseverance to be like, I'm not giving up, like I'm going to keep going. And when it was starting the team, it was, getting models in place that just, we tried our best and it didn't work, but it wasn't like I'm a failure because that's a failure. It was just like the red ink is designed to help us learn from it and just keep going. So yeah, that's definitely informs my business all the time. And I think the ability to take feedback really well from not only your clients, but your real estate partners and from life itself. And like just in that, realizing that like the mistakes that you make are not like a definition on who you are. They're just opportunities to shift and grow and learn. And if you can do that, awesome. If you don't, you're going to get sidelined and you're going to let your ego get in the way. And so that's where like perseverance has jumped in for me.
That's really awesome. So within that, do you think that you feeling lucky has had also some impact on your business and persevering through other things as well?
I mean, like, again, I think I'm with some of the panelists and maybe we just get hooked up on that word lucky. Like if we have similar backgrounds, like I'm kind of reading through some of my panelists as well, like the idea of luck is like whatever is associated with that word, we just kind of like, like push away from because it's that idea that It's, like we associate with the word blessing a lot more. So do I think positively about, myself, and like, do I hope for good in the future? Absolutely. And has that impacted me? Absolutely. So, yeah.
Very cool. I know it's like people, we do have this thing with feeling lucky because there is a lot of hard work in what we do. But it's about also sometimes just being in the right place at the right time to meet the right person that ends up connecting us sometime as well. So that's where I think, that's not just being gratitude and blessed, but sometimes it is just the universe and luck being in the right place at the right time. So what do you think, Marla? Do you think that I think yours was that you were blessed, that being blessed and your word gratitude, how do you feel that works and reflects in your business?
Yeah, I think it definitely has reflected a lot in my business and in my life. So I think that everything that you do in business does come from who you are and how you operate in your daily life as well. I have overcome a lot of obstacles. I've been in real estate now for 18 years. Prior to that, I grew up actually quite poor. And so everything that I've done and all the things that I've accomplished going through university, different things have always been myself, moving myself forward. So I never had anything to kind of fall back on. And moving forward through life, before I got into real estate, I was actually in a really bad accident. And I had to go through rehab for a long time with that accident. And, when I think of lucky, I think in that moment, I truly was lucky. I could have been dead or a paraplegic. And to grow myself past that, that's really what helped, I think, shift my life to a state of gratitude, to really looking back that sometimes these horrible things that they seem horrible at the time, they really help shift, mold you. And there's always a positive, I feel, and a blessing that can come from these things. And in real estate, it is a tricky industry. There's lots of ups and downs. It truly can be a roller coaster of emotions for clients through inspections, through, the markets up and down. And, when you kind of come from a state of feeling grateful, from feeling blessed for the little things in your life, and you show your clients sometimes too, because they don't always come from a place of that too, that, this kind of went bad, but from that, look at how great this can be now, or now we found you that home. I really truly feel like the experiences that I've had in my life have helped me to be the person that I am, and to also help and benefit my clients in that way as well.
Well, I think you and I, just after being on a couple of panels with you, I feel that we have very similar ideas and outlooks on life. And so I really appreciate that you saying how you've come from, as well as David, come from adversity in life. And again, everyone will see where this is going. Marty, what about you?
Yeah, so you guys are probably a lot deeper and into this than I am. That's not really my thing. The touchy-feely stuff I'm not good at, but being that I use the word unique, I think it does help me in my business. I think that I can connect with lots of different people. I'm not scared to look at new ideas. I love change. I think change is awesome. I get so bored. And I know a lot of people really hate change, don't like it. I love it. I love for things to always be changing, to always be different. I love the challenges of being able to work through problems with other people, help solve problems for people. So I think just the fact that my personality and the way that I think is so different from a lot of different people, that I think it allows me to connect with lots of different people on different levels. And I think that in business, it just helps me because I don't get stuck in one particular way of doing things, that I'm open to different, ideas and ways to do things and looking at stuff. And I'm not really a person that gets scared or intimidated very easily. So, I'm okay to take risks and do things like that. And I think that's important in this business. From this 18, 19 years that I've been doing this, I've seen that a lot of people don't stick with real estate. I think the last TAR or the realtor stats that I looked at, it was like on average, an agent will keep a license for like 3 to 5 years, and then they're out from burnout or whatever that looks like. So I always laugh and say you have to be crazy to stay in this business, for extended amount of years. But my husband and I are both in it, and we love it. And I think it is because it's always changing. And I always tell people, I'm like, if you ever think you know it all or you've learned it all, you need to get out of this business. And that's one thing I love because it's always evolving and it keeps me challenged. So again, I'm just kind of a weirdo, and I like some things that a lot of people hate about this business. I love it. So again, not as deep and in depth as the others, but that's just kind of me. So hope that helps you.
No, I think it's awesome. I think it gives everybody a perspective to see where we come through in our business. So I don't think your answer is wrong. I think it's awesome. And I think it's unique and just how you are in your perspective. My next question is, how much weight do each of you put on self-development? And what are the ways you do actually use personal development? What are the either the apps, the books, seminars? What do you use if you do personal development, and if it's something that's important to you? Let's start off with Marla.
I have a different way, I guess, of personal development. I have done, the Tony Robbins, the Buffini courses and stuff in the past. I do not have a real estate coach, but I do per se have a life coach. So I look at my self-development as being more balanced. I'm kind of the person that goes, takes on a lot of different things. I used to be a yes person. So I felt for myself, I'm very goal-oriented. I'm a person that can set my own personal goals. I don't necessarily need a coach to help me achieve my goals, because I'm quite determined that when I set something for myself, I do reach my targets and I do figure out how to get there. My big thing for myself is balance and making sure that I'm also taking care of myself, because I tend to, as you can tell, I'm actually sick today trying to fight this cold, but I tend to take on too much. So mine is more in the last, I'd say 8 years, just trying to make sure I'm attaining a bit more balance, taking time for myself, and some more mostly like self-wellness type things. I do really appreciate the EXP platform. That's one of the reasons when I was looking to come to EXP, I do appreciate all the training that is in there, the like-minded people and the connections. So before we did this ICONversations, there was Zoom panels as well that we attended. And I actually got a lot of growth from meeting with other ICON agents around the country and just learning, how they grow, how they've set up their team or set up their business, or how they've, achieved what they have in the time that they have.
I couldn't agree with you more. David, let's go for you. How much weight do you put on self-development, and what are some of the ways that you take on personal development?
Yeah, so we're in the fast forward movement here at EXP, and there's an alignment between a lot of the top guys there with a coach named John Chaplack and Bill Pipes and all those guys. So I pay for weekly coaching with John Chaplack. He's one of the last guys to get in with him. And so each week I do a 20-minute coaching call with him, and it's just like some, very, very direct, coaching questionnaire in order to get the business goals achieved that I want. So I put my money where my mouth is when it comes to that stuff. And then, periodic coaching sessions throughout the year. I do a lot of travel to events. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys at Shareholders coming up. And on the personal side, that's books. I'm reading Can't Hurt Me by Goggins right now. And it's kind of what I'm into.
Awesome. I love it. Marty, what about you? Do you do personal development?
So as far as self-development, what I do for myself is probably not like traditional. I mean, I try to focus on taking care of myself, obviously, because if I'm not top of mind, top of health, all that kind of thing, I can't serve my family or my clients. We have 3 children that play every sport known to mankind. So we run and gun all the time. I'm a mama and a business owner, so that can be tough. But I do, a lot of people will ask me, like, Marty, you guys run so hard, so fast all the time. Like, when do you take time for yourself? And I do think it is very important to take time to take care of yourself. workouts are a big thing for me. I try to make sure I get in a workout at least 4 to 5 times a week. If I can do it every day, that's awesome, but sometimes it's just not realistic. So I do recommend to people, like, be realistic and give yourself some grace. Sometimes we get so hard on ourselves to stay on a schedule or our time blocking and things like that. You've got to give yourself grace. And I have found that giving myself grace has helped me tremendously, mentally, just saying, you know what, Marty, you got in 4 workouts this week. That's all you could work out, but you did this, and this for the kiddos. You did this, and this for business. It was an overly full week. It was a success. We love to get away when we can, and all of us know that running our own businesses, it's not easy to completely get away. Thank goodness for technology, because it does allow us to still stay present. But we do, we love the water. So we have a place at the lake that we try to visit very often. And we have a place at the beach that we try to visit as much as we can. And we just try to have those times of just kind of a little bit of detox from, sometimes just for me, a change of scenery will help me mentally. I love to do devotionals. I love, I'm in the car a lot. I love to listen to upbeat and, spiritually motivating Christian music a lot. Just anything that's going to keep my mindset and my attitude positive. It's a lot easier in the summertime when the sun is shining and the windows are rolled down, and because our mindset and our attitude, they splash onto everyone we come in contact with, whether we're driving down the road and we get cut off by someone or whatever. I mean, whatever we have mood wise. So I fight negativity as hard as I can, with anything that I can. And I try to teach my children the same thing, that your mind is one of the only things that you have complete and total control over. So you have to be very, very careful as to what you let into it, because it can, it can change your mood, it can change all kinds of things. So I think that just focusing and understanding that what you let into your mind controls you. So I think being very careful. We turn the news off at our house. We do not watch the news at our house. I fight negativity at all costs. And I think that keeps me top of my game for my kids and for my clients. So for me, that's what that looks like.
I think that's awesome, Marty. I like every morning, if I don't get out and do my 5 miles first, that's where I go. I put on Audible. Like I said, I just finished listening to F It Less, which is probably one of the most life-changing books I've read in a long time. And in fact, I have the book. I'm going to listen to it on Audible again, and I will read through the book again so that I really could absorb, because it was that impactful. The book is called F, in quotes, It Less. One of the best books, and actually it was given to me by other agent. We had lunch and in EXP, and she's moving her brokerage over. She's under someone else, but came into Texas and moving her brokerage to EXP in California, but in Texas she had joined EXP, and we met at an ICON event, and we just kind of hit it off, decided to have lunch. And after lunch, she sent me this book and said, I think you'll enjoy this. And it was amazing. So I definitely read and do all that, just everything that you're talking about. You walk into my office and it's like my goals are up on my board, so I see them every single moment. I look at something that's right here to the left of me. It says, live by choice, not by chance. Make changes, not excuses. Be motivated, not manipulated. Work to excel, not compete. Choose to listen to your inner voice, not the jumbled opinions of everyone else. So it's a constant reminder that I have to keep putting in what I believe to myself. So I think that every one of us have all of that in common. My next question is, how has the failures that you've had led to your ultimate successes? David, do you want to start that one off?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So a couple of failures, I would say. I'll give one big one. So I remember I had an admin in the office, and I thought she was absolutely irreplaceable. And for whatever reason, we decided to part ways. and she decided to pursue another career path. And I remember like, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to be able to replace this person? I felt like I didn't provide enough value to cause her to stay. And, I was like so disappointed in myself. But actually in those moments, like, you think that you can't replace somebody, well, the next person who comes along is like 5 times better. And what I found out is like, that was in the beginning of my career. And like every time that that's happened, I've been like, you know what, it really hurts. But like every single time the next person like fills that role even better than before. So for those of you listening who like maybe in the hiring process, like that is a really big deal, is like a lot of times like the people who are there are providing a foundation for the next level of growth for you. It doesn't mean that because that ended, it's like over. It just means that that's part of your foundation for the next step.
I couldn't agree more. I lost a lender that we were like simpatico, and it was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then someone else even more talented showed up. So get it. But in the moment, you're like, I cannot believe this is happening. Marla, what about you?
I definitely think that, when I went back to kind of the personal stuff in my life, like as when you kind of start and you have to grow yourself and your life from nothing and build it up yourself. If you kind of come from a place in a way of failure where you have to kind of meet different adversities, when you come from an accident that you have to kind of rewalk again and do those sorts of things, you come from a place that helps to build your strength in knowing that you did that you got there. So I feel like, the personal things that I kind of struggled through really has helped me in business, in the fact that, every day something can fall on your lap. That's difficult, that's a struggle. And by knowing, okay, I've been there, I've gotten through that, this is just going to be a piece of cake. And, 18 years in the business, it's a long time. You've seen a lot of different markets. I've been a realtor since before there was computers. It was press hard 5 copies. It was all, paper. And, sometimes you'd struggle, you'd getting into the industry. There was a lot of adversity as well, because I was a younger agent. I was a girl in an agent where there was mostly a male dominant field here. So just kind of struggling through some of those things. And sometimes, you feel you'd be beat out on a listing, or you had a client and you had struggles and not really sure the best way to deal with it. And then once you kind of got through that and you realize, okay, that just made you stronger, that just made you better, and grew. And that's kind of the mindset I've always had, though, is to know these things are going to come your way. What can you learn from it? I know sometimes people laugh, like, how can you always have that positive mindset? But that's truly who I've always been, is, there is a brighter side. And if we wake up and we have a good mindset, a good attitude, even teaching that to the children as they're growing up, like you wake up and you're in a bad mood, your day is going to go wrong. You're going to stub your toe. You're going to, spill your, milk or whatever. Like, it's just kind of, I feel that those things that have happened to me have helped strengthen that. And those are the things that the people that I work closely with, whether they're my clients or other people with my EXP team, just trying to always show them that other side of things. I had a client even yesterday, and she had a really bad experience with a realtor. And she's like, I wish this wouldn't have happened, and that wouldn't have happened, and that wouldn't have happened. And, but through that, I kind of pointed out, but look at where you are today. Like, this gave you a break to do this. We don't always know sometimes why the things happen, why we have the loss, why we have the turmoil. But by keeping a positive mindset and always looking that, there are reasons, I believe, for things that happen, and how can we turn that around and learn from it and grow from it and move forward.
I think those are very, very valid points. What about you, Marty? How have your failures led to some of your ultimate successes?
Oh my goodness. I had a lot of things that I can tell you not to do. And the only reason I can tell you not to do them is because I did them and it didn't work. So sometimes it's just trial and error, honestly. But really, I think the team structures, I've learned a lot in real estate. You first get in and you're doing everything yourself and you're learning the business and you start to grow. And people start saying, you need to start leveraging. So you start making your hires. And there's lots of different theories on how to build teams and what that looks like. Some of them, and I've tried a lot of them, but then I agree with them. Some of them I think are just ridiculously wrong and didn't work at all for me. And I think they're unrealistic. But So I think one of the things that that I don't necessarily want to say I failed at, I didn't have a resource for it, but I do feel like I went at it wrong and I listened to the wrong advice. At the time, I was with Keller Williams and we were building our team, and it was a great move for us because we came from Remax, and Remax didn't have any kind of resources. So we came to Keller Williams, had all kinds of great resources, and we started putting together this team, and the leverage piece was great. But there also came with it this fear factor of, kind of to what David said, fear factor of losing these people, and then the leverage you had falling right back into your lap. And so that model for me came with a lot of baggage that I didn't need. And we kept looking for ways to do it differently. But with that company, there was just one way, that they said to do it. And any other way you tried to do it, there were kind of blockers or barriers. So when I found EXP, it opened up a whole new opportunity for us. So the way I'm building my team now is very, very different from the way I built it before. Building it before, we had certain, molds that each person had to fit into, and if you didn't fit into that mold, you didn't get on our team. And that didn't feel like me. And so moving to EXP gives us the opportunity to bring people not only onto our team, but we can bring them into our network. And that was huge for us because we had our own office. We were a mega agency office. We were a mega agent team. And we really wanted to be surrounded by more high-minded agents and have them in our office to brainstorm with and to work with collaboratively, and not have them quote unquote have to be on our team, necessarily. And we couldn't do that with that company. So, moving to EXP it's removed all those barriers, and it's given us the opportunity to build our team in a different way, where we bring team members on and find out what they want and where they want to go, and how can this be a win-win for both us and them. Exit strategies were always something that were never really talked about at the other company. And, it's inevitable. Team members, admins, they're going to come, they're going to go. It's life. No one stays forever, and they shouldn't. It's always evolving. So this time, as we build our team, because we're in the process of kind of rebuilding our team a little bit bigger than what I have been comfortable getting it to in the past. But because of what EXP has offered us, I feel comfortable doing it. And I can bring people in and hear about what their goals and dreams are. And if their goals and dreams align with what we want to do, and we can help them achieve and they can help us achieve, then that's a win-win. But one thing that I'm going to do very, very differently this time is I'm going to meet every 6 months and say, are you happy here? Are you ready to go out on your own? Do you want to do something different? I want to keep that exit strategy and that door open for people to know that when they shift to a different place, it's okay. They can tell me what that is. I can help them get there, because I want them to stay in my network. I want them to stay with my team. I want them to stay my friend, my colleague, that sort of thing, and not these weird, awkward breakups that occurred at other companies where somebody was going to go off and be your competition, and you think they're going to take a portion of your, or try to take a portion of your business with them, and it's just this real dramatic, terrible thing. So that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned over the years, and I'm so excited to rebuild under this company and really see how I can help other people succeed. So,
Marty, I think that's a very good point that you brought up. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to record with Glenn yesterday on Expansion Podcast, and we were talking about just that, is that here in the EXP, I don't feel like there's competition. I don't feel like no matter who it is or what it is that we have competition against us. We're all here and we want to see everyone succeed, whether they want to be on your team, as part of the team, or if they want to branch off and build their own sort of team program. We all want to keep them as a collective. Like, we're all here to collaborate. David and Marla, do you feel the same thing? Do you see that within EXP? Because I feel that's like the biggest part of our culture.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I'm like, EXP staff, if you're listening, turn your turn your headset off now, but they could like triple my fees and I would still stay. And that's simply because of the collaboration in this company. Like I can jump on and go on our network calls and, get help every single week on Mondays or Wednesdays. And there's always like availability to jump online with people. And it's just been super helpful, and it's caused our business to just, exponentially increase. So yeah, it's the collaboration for me.
I completely agree
with you. Marla, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I completely agree as well. It was actually something that surprised me. I didn't expect I was with Century 21 before, so I was with them for 16 years. And I hadn't switched brokerages. I had stayed with the same brokerage office. So obviously you build really good relationships with people. You go to their baby showers, to their weddings, and you see these people in person all the time. So it was actually something that I was kind of concerned about, making the switch to EXP. And when I joined with EXP, it was brand new in Saskatchewan. So it had only been launched as a company here for, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I had heard about it, so kind of was looking at making the change 6 months prior. So that was the big thing that I was really nervous about. What is that going to look like? What's an online company? Even though I had kind of ran my business online, I still worked out of a home office. I was really nervous about those relationships and the collaboration. And I still made the change. And I must say that I am literally floored at the level of service that we get through our support staff, how quickly, how friendly. In many ways, it's almost nicer. Even the people that I knew, built relationships with, when I get a response to something in regards to my transactions or whatever, it's way to go, Marla, you're doing so great. How quick can I get that for you? Let me do this. And, lots of times you wouldn't even have that type of messages in your emails or the questions that they're asking through the office before. So I was very, very impressed with that. And then the collaboration, I really feel the same way. You don't feel that you're competing. So many people through this company are open to share their ideas, share their presentations, share the work that they've, built in their business, how to build a team. That's one of the things that I've been looking at too. A big change in my business coming to EXP is I did hire my first admin. So I had done all this work for many years by myself without a full-time assistant. I had paid certain people to do different aspects of my business, which I still have a couple other people I pay for that, but I did hire a full-time assistant once I came to EXP, and it literally changed my business. I can't imagine. I know everybody says that once you do that, you never go back, and I can never imagine my life without having an assistant. And I think you're right that you always have to make sure that you're training and planning that anybody can kind of leave at some point, and how would you grow and move forward from there. But this company, for sure, the collaboration, the openness of everybody, I do feel like we are a big group of like-minded individuals that see the benefits of the company, see how that can inspire and grow their own life, their own business, and help others too. And I'm really happy to be part of this organization.
I couldn't agree more. Marty, there's a question for you. Someone said, how would you suggest we collaborate here in Nashville? My sponsor is Miami and I feel isolated. I can tell you what we do here in Austin. We have some people from GoGo's team. We have, like I said, some other people coming in from California. All the icons, we get together at least once every 2 weeks via in-person or Zoom. Whoever can join in. And we're always doing things that we can expand other sort of networks. We have something called AHA, Agents Helping Agents. I don't know if you're doing it in Nashville, Marty, but maybe you want to pick up that. There's on Workplace, you can look up AHA, Agents Helping Agents, and there's ways to go ahead and start your own organization. I'm helping one in Louisiana get started as well, and I'm here in Texas because my nephew is in Louisiana and he wants to make people more. So, Marty, how would you help Kim Davis in Nashville?
Okay, yeah, I mean, that is one of the tough things with having a global company is because we're connected across the country, even across the nation, I mean, it's like crazy. But this is the thing, depending on whether you are into the recruitment or whatever, the thing that we've done with our group is huge. The person that sponsored us did live right here, and they don't now. They go back and forth, but add a lot of things that they put together, and so we can be a part of that. So as our downline grows, I mean, I have, recruited in agents that I really enjoy spending time with, that I really enjoy doing things with. And I think that's the beauty of this company, is you can pick who you work with. And so we did that strategically so that we could start building our own smaller group, So I don't know if recruitment is something that you're interested in, but if it is, I would encourage you to be that leader and start seeking out agents that you really like doing business with, you enjoy spending time with, and maybe recruit in a handful of other growers to grow a group here in Nashville. I know there's a lot of EXP agents here in Nashville. I don't know. We don't have anything that I am aware of, like what you're talking about, Vanessa. But I know that our group, Jay and Ashley Nelson, are our sponsors, do a lot of stuff, to get us together, whether it be online or in person. So I don't know of any group like what you're talking about, Vanessa, but that might be, I don't. That's a great question. I mean, I haven't really thought of it from that angle, because we do have people here that are in our network that we do things with. So, I think your suggestion is great. I don't know if EXP has anything that connects people.
It's Marty. Elizabeth started AHA here in Austin, and now it's branching out to all different cities across the country, and it's called Agents, just like Agents Helping Agents on Friday. It's called the AHA Club, and we get together once a month, and every has different themes, and everybody goes around teaching. We just had Brian White come in from Dallas to Austin. Like I said, I'm going over and helping my nephew start one in Lafayette, Louisiana. I'll be starting one in Marble Falls, but there's just, with Elizabeth starting it here, people started asking, what is she doing to get us all together and have interactive? So it's not just for EXP agents, the Agents Helping Agents, it's for all agents. So it does help in attracting, but it gives a reason for everyone locally to get together. So maybe with you being in Nashville, or Kim, maybe you can help start that and just start getting agents together that are in the area. And it doesn't necessarily have to be all the same sponsorship, but it really does work. And Kay Dillon is asking for one in Ontario. Look up on Workplace. It's AHA, the AHA Club. And you'll see how they've started it. There's structures and there's all kinds of graphics already for social media. I would just jump in to see if you guys could say, hey, we'll start one here. And it's just a once a month sort of meeting, and whatever topics locally that you guys are seeing and wanting to help. And it's a very, very smart way to network. So, I mean, I'd love to hear what anyone else in the audience would love to hear from these agents, because David, Marla, and Marty are all amazing agents. And again, I've had the pleasure of being with them on a couple panels, so I know a little bit more about them. But is there anything that you guys would like to add? We've got like 13 minutes. Is there anything anyone in the audience would like to know? Feel free to unmic if you guys have a question in the audience. David, Marla, Marty, anybody that wants to add in. I'm so grateful to have this time with you guys. And I don't have any more questions, because, I wanted to take a unique approach this week from all the different questions we were having before. But if there's anything else, again, y'all want to know, please jump in.
I want to ask, how do you update your CRM? You do it, or you hire somebody to do it? You do it in the morning, in the afternoon, at night?
Yeah, I'll tell you what we do. So I typically handle that once a week in terms of like updating from past clients, if you're working on that. But for me, it's going to be every single day that you're inside of the CRM and you're like actually making calls to your sphere. So for us, we're calling to our spheres and we're just letting them know, hey, here's what's happening right now in the market. You probably, don't want to sell your house, or you may want to sell your house in the future, but we're just updating you because a lot of people have questions. When you make that phone call, that is when you update, right? That's when you say, hey, can I just confirm best address for you is this, best email address is.
Want to call and update my database, checking in to see how you're doing, blah, 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 those sort of things. Like, so is your email still the same? You still get my newsletter? It's just a great way to touch people. Having a system for new contacts and new clients and things like that as to how they physically get entered in. You can definitely hire that piece out, but there's got to be a system in place. It comes in, it goes here, this person enters it, tags them to these certain things. So you'll have to have a system if you're going to hire out for someone to actually do the data entry, which I think is fine. But as far as like going in and scrubbing your database, we do it multiple times a year, actually, because nobody can do that for me, because a lot of people don't. I mean, my office manager, she knows a lot of the clients too, but some of those decisions are made. Like, this person moved out of state, I haven't heard from them in 3 or 4 years. I left them on the newsletter, but we're not going to continue to send them invites to this, that, or the other, because they're, so I have to go in and kind of make those decisions. But I'm with David, being active in your database every day, every week, and doing the changes a little long makes it not so overwhelming to have to do it, for hours and hours. Scrubbing it. And that way, if you scrub it a couple times a year, then, you can do it in an afternoon or an evening or one morning when you get up early. It doesn't take as long.
I actually hire somebody. So I have someone that's in charge of my sphere and database. So when my transaction coordinator, when we ever add someone else, she automatically sends it over to the person who works strictly with my sphere. So I do it a little differently. But again, they're in it, like Marty and David both said, they're in it every time there's something changing. So add a new client, they're getting added in. So I agree. Marla, what about you?
I'm the same way. I do hire it out now that I have an admin. It was me before, but that was something that would get to the wayside. I never seemed to get to it, or I'd have to do it all at once, kind of once a month. But now, obviously, any new client, my new leads, I don't really put into there. There is a drip system that obviously with different things, they do get automatically put in to its own database. But the one that I actually keep all my clients in is separate. So my admin does put people in, whether they've bought or sold, update that accordingly. And then I do my purge kind of once a year. So I do a touch base with people in my database quarterly. Just follow-ups. I do a direct email to all of them. And then different times through business, I do personal texts or calls as well. I do most of that kind of yearly purge towards the end of the year through the Christmas season and into January. So I kind of go through, try to touch base. It is a great time. That's what I tell a lot of my agents and stuff too, is that's a great time to touch base with people. If you haven't done it monthly, if you haven't done it weekly, I know there are people in an ideal world. I think you should spend time on that. Even if you put half an hour a day to touch base into your database, it will give returns. That is the tough part of, taking on a lot of business, and I haven't built a team, is that my days, really I could use 2 of myself. So if I could change something, it would be somewhere in that, so I can touch base on a more consistent basis with my database, because there was for sure a lot more business that can be had. I actually just created an email that's going to go out today with my admin that just reaches out to people, because we are at extremely low inventory levels. Just saying, if you've ever heard of or thought or talked to anybody and they're thinking of selling, like really now is the time for a lot of people. So to please reach out. So sending that kind of touch base to my database right now, because we really are in need of listings to start up that conversation as well.
That's awesome. How about anybody else? Does anyone else have any other questions that are important that you want to hear from us on things that we're doing? Is there any other final comments? David, Marla, Marty, any of you guys want to add in?
One person here had asked just about the email. So I just wanted to address that. That was one of the questions in the chat there. I do think it is important. I don't use my EXP email address. I had actually changed like my Marla Johnson website. So I had established that probably 12 years ago, before kind of it was a thing. I wasn't using the company address before, like Marla, at Century 21. I did use Marla at marlajohnson.com. So same with my email address. So whether you create your own, I do have, my email address is marla at marlajohnson.com. So is my website, but I also run, a Gmail account, the EXP account, but they all feather into my name account. So it doesn't matter how you're promoting yourself. It's easy to remember, and that's how I would plan to move it forward.
Also, I think somebody else had a question in the chat about KV Core and what database that you use. I use KV Core for like non-met leads, like when I put things out on the internet or things like that, because it's got all the automated, like really, I mean that. And I'm not crazy techie, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And I know some people use KV Core for everything, and it's an awesome system. I do use that for like non-med or cold leads. For my sphere, just to answer, I think it was Kim's question, just to answer that question, I had just switched to CRM Grow because I was using a different one that has gone away, it closed down or whatever. But when I picked mine, I was looking for something very simple, because I wanted to use it for my sphere and people that I know really well and my past clients. So I wanted to have complete control over it. I didn't need it to be crazy automated. I just needed it to be simple and organized so that we could do the things with it that we wanted to do. And so that's what I'm using now, is the CRM Grow. So far, I love it. I can report back, so we haven't had it very, very long, but that's what we're using now. Super simple, does the things that I want it to do. To manage just my database and past clients.
I think all of these are really awesome. Anybody else have any more questions that you guys want to ask us? We've got about 4 minutes left. I think that's it. Guys, I want to thank David, Marla, and Marty for all taking their time to join in and answer these questions. I know it was more of a unique ICONversations, more kind of about personal development. And I think it's always important to know where we all stand on that, because we didn't just get here overnight with our successes. So again, thanks to each of you guys. I hope you all enjoyed it that are out there in the audience. You can reach us through workplace chat. I'm sure we're all on there. I know I am. So if you wanted to reach out to any of us individually, we're all always here. So again, thanks so much, David, Marla, and Marty. I look forward to meeting you in person at Shareholders.
Thanks so much, Vanessa. Thanks everybody for.
And Vanessa, great job. See ya.
Have a great weekend.